we could have a 2-week seminar on originalist philosophy. But I'd like to get back to your originalist comment, and that was about the disruptive aspect of the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And somewhat in context of what we were talking about earlier, whether it's Morrill versus Madison, Board of Education versus Brown. I think more recently, if you look at Citizens United, and without getting into the merits of it, but someone who has been on the ballot for 13 times, I think we're going to look back and we're going to see that Citizens United, by virtue of allowing unlimited amounts of money, almost in many cases unanimous, not unanimously, but unanimously, without the term anonymously, with unlimited amounts of money anonymously put into the electoral system.
It doesn't have to be anonymous.
It doesn't have to, but it allows it to be anonymous.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it permits, but if the people don't want it to be anonymous, it doesn't have to be.
Oh, no, right. If they want to volunteer that they're giving a few $1 million to beat something, that's fine. But they don't have to.
That's right. Just as they did not have to prohibit corporations.
I'm not getting into the merits. I'm just saying the facts are that it allows unlimited amounts of dollars to be spent without attribution. It can be spent other ways, but that's the way. I think we're going to look back on that, again, not with the merits or anything. We're going to look back on that as something that is enormously disruptive.
Require.
Well, I'm not getting into the merits. I'm just saying, the question of being...
Of course you're getting into the merits.
I'm saying, in terms of the question of being disruptive, this is an example of something that I think is going to polarize even more so the political system now. And what you'll find, I think, is that it will be changed. There will be some type of corruption that will be greater than Watergate, that will have the same kind of impact, whether through the amendment process or whatever. But again, I'm just talking about what's constitutional is what the Supreme Court says is constitutional. So you said this is constitutional. So I mean, that's not without question. I'm just talking about the disruptive aspect of the Supreme Court.
But disruption means changing what was there before. The situation that existed and that was overruled by Citizens United had been created 10 years earlier. It overruled a case that was 10 years old, and a case which itself was very disruptive. Everybody had understood Buckley versus Vallejo, which was way back in the I guess the 60s, the early 60s. Everybody assumed Buckley versus Vallejo was the law. And the case which Citizens United overruled kicked over that apple cart. So if you want to talk about disruption, we were undoing a disruption that had occurred 8 or 10 years earlier. I mean, that's the reality of it. Everybody assumed after Buckley that there were no limitations upon independent expenditures, whoever made them, individual, corporation. And on the merits, Citizens United, if you look at the legislative history, it was a reaction against attack ads. Its whole purpose was to make it impossible to run attack ads. And if you think you're likely to get a fair electoral system by letting the incumbents draw up the rules, you're crazy.
Well, as having a lot of those attack ads run against me, I don't think it's unreasonable for someone to have to identify themselves if they feel about that. But again, that's not to the merits. It's just
Citizens United says nothing about that. Nothing about that.
I tell you what, I think we'll go to some easy questions. But we shall return.